one thing that I keep asking myself and that I wanted to ask you, do you have your own observations on the challenges that you faced, if you faced any challenges at all as a woman in tech? Because and I just want to ask you about your perspective on the trends that we now see some positive shifts in trends, like the percentage of new tech industry hires that women have been slowly rising, and many organizations are starting to formalize their return to office policies to better support women needs. And how do you feel yourself in this environment, in this trend? Like, what's your observation here?
I truly think being a woman in tech is more difficult, and the reason is because of all these stereotypes, as you mentioned, that
Mm-hmm.
tech people have to be men.
Yeah.
You have to. One of the things that I would love to do sometimes is to. I remember I was in a conference not long ago, and one of the great things, by the way, if you speak at conferences, one of the great things is that conferences usually have a speakers dinner. So they get you you go with the rest of the speakers for the conference for a dinner, which is great for networking, because in a conference there are a lot of people. It's very difficult to really get to talk to many people and remember who was who. But in the speakers dinner is like concentration of a small group, and I was the only woman
Mm-hmm.
in that dinner. And one of the things that one of the speakers was giving a cultural talk. He was about engineering culture. It wasn't a technical talk. It was an engineering culture. And I remember thinking to myself, like, I would love to do that sometimes, like doing some cultural talks. But in a way, I force myself to always give technical talks, so people know that I'm technical, so people don't assume that I'm not. And if you give a cultural talk,
Yeah, because
sometimes people will say,
this is
okay.
something that people expect from a woman at stage. Like, she's not going to talk technical. She's going to talk some cultural things about environment or something like that, and that is why you didn't
And
do cultural.
and it's unfair, and it's
Hmm.
unfair. It's unfair that I have to refrain myself for exploring other topics just to ensure that people understand that they can talk about technical topics to me. And so that's one thing. But another thing is that a lot of companies are putting a lot of effort, which is very welcome, of trying to be more welcoming to not only to women. I mean, there are a lot of less represented folks in the industry, and making sure that they feel welcome and they have opportunities to be promoted and they have
Hmm.
opportunities to explore different career paths. So I think there are efforts to make things better, for sure. I think there's still a lot to do. You need to make sure that the people who are less represented folks in the industry stay in the industry, because one of the things that I in the case of women, I want more women in tech. I want, but not for me. I mean, I want more women in tech because they pay, like the industry pays well. Simple as that. And I want more women to be able to access those salaries, to be able to access those career opportunities. So the gender pay gap is only going to get bigger if we don't get more women in the industry, because this industry pays well. So that's one of my main goals, for more women to be in tech.
And about balancing your career. Is there a balance between pursuing technical career and managing careers path? Like, is it possible to have a fulfilling career in tech as a woman without being pushed or forced into management to have this fulfillment? Because I can imagine like a woman building a career in engineering and developing might not be perceived as successful as her man counterpart that builds awesome products. And if the woman switches to a managing role, like she's managing a developing team, like, and that's why she is successful, not because she built some cool product. Do you think there is a balance?
I think it's a trap sometimes. Like I think that's a trap because personally, for example, in my own experience, the I think I was offered a role in management
Mhm.
early in my career because people thought I was going to be good at it, and I was good at it. I mean, it's not that I wasn't. I was good at it, but I think the for me, if I could go back, if I could go back in, and again, that's a good thing about careers being long because you're able
Mhm.
to make amendments and change over and over again. But I think if I could go back, I wouldn't go to management that early. I would explore more IC. But I think it's very common to for women in tech to think that they need to go to management to be perceived as successful. So it's my recommendation to younger women would be if you to at least to reflect. I mean, to reflect a little bit more. Is this really something that you want to do? And if it is, that's fantastic. Engineering manager is a fantastic role. I love it. You're able to make other engineers better, improve their careers. It's super rewarding to be an engineer manager and being a good one. But just think about it. Maybe it's not what you want to do, or maybe it's not what you want to do now. And you're able to say, okay, I want to stay as an IC at least 5 more years, and then I make a different decision. So once again, if you've decided that you want to to be a manager and you start doing that, and then you want to go back to be an IC, that's also a possibility. The good thing is that I don't think those two career paths diverge and you're not able to get them back as
Mhm.
well. I know a lot of engineers, women and men. A lot of engineers who went into management for a while, then back to IC, then back to management, and it's a pendulum, I guess.
Yeah.